So that is my pearl. Maybe staying still will be the most radical adventure yet. Earlier this year, I took the Positive Intelligence Saboteurs Assessment, a tool I might once have dismissed, but one I now recognise as unexpectedly insightful. Prompted by my coach, I approached it with curiosity rather than critique. The assessment is designed to help you identify and name the saboteurs in your life, the voices that generate negative emotions as you handle life's everyday challenges. I was fairly sure I already knew what mine would be, the people pleaser. But to my surprise, it was the restless saboteur who came out firmly on top. The restless saboteur is constantly in search of greater excitement in the next activity or constant busyness. Rarely at peace or content with the current activity. Reading that description hit me hard. Rarely have I felt so seen. Recognizing it helped me reframe not just my past choices, but how I now approach my own pace and purpose. I began my career in education nearly 15 years ago, immediately after I graduated from university. While most of my friends were taking gap years, I began the postgraduate teacher training program Teach First, which threw me headfirst into teaching full-time at the ripe old age of 21. My impatience for a sense of purpose and a need for the feeling that I was making a difference in the world helped me survive 2 incredibly challenging years teaching English in one of the most deprived areas of the UK. At the end of those 2 years, drawn by the adventure of international teaching, I landed in Oman as a 23-year-old single female teaching in an Islamic bilingual school. The next step came 2 years later in China, where I gained my first experience of IB. Fueled by the familiar drive for challenge, I worked my way up from teacher to head of grade to NYP coordinator and eventually to assistant principal, alongside completing a master's in gender education and international development. After a maternity cover headship and pandemic-interrupted return to the UK, I stepped into my current role, vice principal in Singapore. I've since come to understand that this pattern wasn't just ambition. It was a form of momentum I had come to depend on, often mistaking motion for meaning. You don't have to look far to see the restlessness in that journey. But restlessness has not always been a flaw. It has been both a compass and an engine. I now see how it's shaped not just the path I've taken, but the confidence with which I've walked it. And for that, I'm grateful to my saboteur. But rewiring a brain that has rehearsed restlessness for 36 years doesn't happen overnight. Hence why I'm here online in the middle of my holiday. But each day, I've started choosing stillness, sometimes awkwardly, sometimes imperfectly, but always with intention. I've stepped back, or at least I'm trying to, from defaulting to the next qualification, the next title, the next role, and I've even considered deactivating my Search Associates account. Instead, I've begun trying to cultivate presence as a practice, not as something to master, but as something to show up for. The hyperachiever in me still whispers that I should get good at stillness, that I should read the book, complete the course, and then prove I've nailed it. But I've learned to gently turn down the volume on that saboteur voice. One of my favorite quotes grounds me in these moments. You can't think your way into a new way of acting. You must act your way into a new way of thinking. So as I enter my 5th year of my current school in the same role, this is my first small act. Not a new job, not a new degree, not a new project, just a commitment to show up, a commitment to the present, to the pause, to the breath in between. Presence might not feel like progress at first, but perhaps that's the pearl of wisdom that my saboteur has been keeping from me all along, that maybe, just maybe, staying still will be the most radical adventure yet. So that is my pearl. Maybe staying still will be the most radical adventure yet.